how you doing? It is your pal Chris, aka Mr. Remote 420, and I'm back with a brand new Monday review for all of you guys. Hopefully you had a great weekend. If not, sorry to hear about that. Today I'm going to be talking to you about what I like to consider a tribute to 80s female revenge films. Oh, I love that genre. It always gave me a nice feel in my stomach of happiness when the girl finally gets her revenge in the end. It's always gives you a nice, like, yeah, go for it, rock on. And this film actually comes from director Paul Ragsdale. He did such films as Cinco de Mayo and a short film I just recently saw called Nighttime Creatures, which I really thought is probably one of my favorite short films in a long time. I've seen a lot of short films, but this was like, yeah, this is good. This is good. And he directed a nice little feature entitled Streets of Vengeance with Delwana McKinney and Anthony Tamata. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Hopefully it is. If not, sorry about that. It kind of gives an idea of what happens when a woman is wrong and she takes it on the world with her awesome, classy friends. Yeah. Alright guys, so before we start talking about like the story of the film, we have to really discuss this intro scene. It's an intro show talking about the story of the film. I haven't seen a concept this interesting since Return of the Kill Tomatoes back in the 80s. And it shows a girl and she's dancing, she's in a bikini and she's having fun, and it basically says, I think it was like All Night Long with Stacey Monroe. And I thought, oh shit, it's a tribute to USA's Up All Night with Rhonda Shear. And that's exactly what it is. I asked Paul about it. It's like, yeah, you got it. That was exactly what I wanted to get. And I thought, oh, okay. So basically, Stacey, the host, talks about how, we're going to be introduced to Mila, the greatest porn star in the world, and how she's sick and tired of all the friends getting killed, and, it's placed in San Francisco, and just story goes from there. I thought, okay, this really works. And the intro comes, and it reminds me of the Wayhauser films and the Angel series films. If you've ever seen the Angel and Avenging Angel films, you gotta check it out. It's really good. It's a concept up there with this type of film, and the film just starts from there, like in a with an intro. It's like, oh, this is great music, and it works really well. So then we start the story from there. All right, so we start the story, and the film basically begins outside an O'Farrell Theater, which I presume is a strip club, and this dancer on stage is doing a hell of a job. I mean, I would have tipped her a few bucks here and there. She gets done her performance, she decides to leave and walks home. All of a sudden, she's accosted by two guys in ski masks. The first guy is ready to rape her. She kicks him in the nuts and think, okay, she's gonna leave. Nope. The second guy comes out with a straight razor and slits her throat. Doesn't take any money, just leaves her there. The next day, we see a girl driving somewhere. This is our lead girl, Mila, played by Delwana McKinney, and she's just on a road to which looks like a studio. All of a sudden, we see this girl named Amber, who apparently is Mila's best friend, speaking to a reporter named Brian, who's played by Anthony Tamata. And Amber basically says that Mila's the best, and you find out the article that the guy's doing is on Mila, who apparently is the best porn star in the business. Everyone loves her, and it's she makes a lot of money, so she's doing pretty well for herself. Then all of a sudden we're introduced to Ivan Dark of Dark Productions. He's a big guy in the porn industry, and he knows his stuff. Of course, he's also a little greasy looking. And then, of course, we get to meet Mila, and she has a discussion with Brian for a little bit. But then we have a porn shoot, bit of a photo op for Mila, Amber, and another girl. And they have a good time, and everything goes well. They find out that one of the girls that they know was killed last night by the so-called San Francisco slasher. So you have a film that the San Francisco slasher is going to be coming up later in this film. Alright guys, we're still in the same scene as I've been talking about. Now, in this film there are going to be several side stories, and they're going to be intertwined with the film. They're going to come up, and you'll get a better understanding of, while watching this film. One of the side stories, and the one we talk about now, is Mila and her decision to leave porn forever, and she tells Ivan Dark of Dark Productions that she doesn't want to work in porn anymore, and he kind of understands, but you see a bit of a resentment coming from Ivan, and he assumes that she's leaving him to go to Amy Darkhouse or Groundhouse Production, or Groundhouse Production, I guess that's how you call it. And she said, no, I just want to leave. I don't want to do this anymore. And he understands, okay, that's fine. So she up and leaves, and they're going to have a retirement party later down the line, later in the film. Then we come up to a camera crew of a stripper that's staying next to a masked man who's saying, this is Jane Doe. Jane Doe is a slut and a whore, and she's desecrated herself. And you're hearing this story, and apparently the group that's hating strippers, just women in particular, just women, they're referred to as the Sword. The Sword hates women. There's kind of a hidden agenda of, I don't want to say gay, but they seem really adamant with each other. It's kind of a deep aggression towards women, and I don't get it. It reminds me of the dude that did a video, and he's like, women don't love me, and I'm good looking, and I'm rich, but women are just bitches, and blah, 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 blah. Women don't like me because I'm a twat. So, unfortunately, the woman gets stabbed through her stomach. Interesting shot there. And after this, you see a few more women get murdered in, I guess, what you would describe as a giallo murder sequence. You know, they come up to a few of them, they find them, they slit their throat, and it's not bloody, but there'll be a different concept later down the film where it's like, okay, it's giallo, but it really isn't. So this continues, and then you realize that there's another side story of Mila is going to go on television and kind of defend how she's a feminist versus a guy who's for men who feel violated by women, which they're not really, because they're all, the group is just scumbags. And the main scumbag is Garrett, played by Daniel James Moody, who I hated. I mean, I assume he's a nice guy in real life, but he was like a fucking cocksucker. Like, just a total fucking douchebag. And he's coming off as like, you know, how dare you exploit yourself, and you're a horrible woman. And Mila's, saying, coming from her side, like, listen, this is, we have the right to do what we want with our bodies. You can't force us not to be. And she explains to him, it's like, maybe there's something hidden with you, and it's like, how dare you do that to me? Blah, 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 blah. Wah, wah, wah. I'm a whiny douche. Blah, 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 blah. So it kind of continues with this back and forth. But you have a feeling that there's something going wrong in this Garrett type of, he's not quite right. And you'll find out later in the film, like, oh, okay, that makes much more sense. Well, yeah. Well, guys, now it's time for the retirement party for Milla. Yay! Everyone's going to have a good time, and everyone's going to drink and enjoy themselves, and all of Milla's porn star friends are there, as well as Brian, the interviewer from a few days ago. He's had a few drinks, he's enjoying himself, and you see Ivan there, and he's looking schemish and like, I'm going to do something evil, and you just wait. And apparently he does, and so we realize that he may have given her a roofie colada. If you don't know what that is, good, you've never been a part of that, thank God. So she feels weak and sick and tiresome, and Ivan magically grabs her and takes her outside, and lo and behold, there's a truck waiting for Mila to sit in. Ivan puts her in the truck, and Mila says, where are we going? You're going home, Mila. So He lets the truck go and he goes back in to have a good time with the party. Then Brian decides he's going to go out front and have a cigarette. All of a sudden, he sees Milla in the truck coming around the bend and realizes she doesn't look good. I better go follow her and make sure she's okay. And that's what he does, but he runs a little late. Next scene we've come up to is Mila's bound and gagged in a basement. And there's a subby guy holding the camera, pointing at her, saying, "This is Mila. She's a horrible person. She's a whore. I came up to her 3 days ago and invited myself to say, hey, how you doing?" And she laughed in my face, which is bullshit because it didn't happen. Plus, Mila comes off as a character that wouldn't seem to be disrespectful to other people. It just doesn't happen. So he stabs her and punches her in her face and really fucks her up. Then he decides to choke her, around, with a rope. While this is happening, several more of the, I would say, sword company, who's actually, this is one of the characters who's choking Mila, is part of the sword company. Now, several of the other sword associates are going around to Mila's friends, porn stars, including Amy Groundhouse, and they slit her throat. They slit a few of the female porn stars' throats with the stray razor, and more of a giallo type murder. Okay, so then we come back to Mila on the ground, look like she's dead. She's playing it. She's able to get her hands open, and she finds a bat in the basement, while this douchebag is talking to a camera like, "I did it. This is good," and she bashes the shit out of this douchebag. He crushes his skull. It went from giallo murders to a Lucio Fulci fantastic fun time. It just went crack, 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 crack. I'm dead. So she leaves. She grabs the guy's camera and phone with the bat in her hand. She gets out of the house. Brian sees her. It's like, oh shit, I better get her. He takes her back to his place. Patches her up. She freaks out. It's like, no, I'm saved you. Everything's okay. She realized, oh, Ivan Dark is the one that made this occur, and she realized she gets a phone call from the phone that she took, and realized that the guy on the other end is Garrett, the one from before. And you realize Garrett's in charge of the sword. So then she gets with, Brian, and she talks to Brian like, we got to do this again. Brian's like, yeah, let's do it. So she decides to grab her friends, and in the process for the rest of the film, they're in the idea of, we got to get back at the sword, and that's what they do. Well, now it's a part of the film where the girls and Mila decide, all right, we got to get these sword guys and fucking kill them and do what they have to. And Brian's there to help, and he does the best that he can and help them out killing these motherfuckers. And there's one scene in particular where Brian invites a guy who's part of sword, and he was acquitted of raping a girl. And he invites the guy to a strip club, and oh man, this was it was hard to watch because it was so so the guy's there, and he's sitting by himself, and there's no one's else there, and Mila and three of the girls do their dance, and it's really nice and incredibly sexy, and like, oh, I wish I had dollar bills. And then you realize, oh no, I wish I didn't have dollar bills. Because they tie the guy up, unbuckle his pants, pull down his drawers, and start stabbing with the knife, and like, oh, it's just bad, and just, like, stop, it just becomes wrong, so wrong. Oh, and after they're done, they cut off the guy's dick and stuff it in the guy's mouth. Like, wow, because this was violent as fuck. So they do back and forth. They kill people in each of the teams and decide, we gotta fight each other for like one last time, and they're ready to do this. But before we do this, we cut to a commercial. Stacey Monroe comes back on screen, and it's like, well, let's watch this before we see the conclusion. And it's a trailer for a, a a bachelorette film, like a slasher film. It's really good. It was done really. It was incredibly shot well. I think it was called Slasherette Party, and I saw the trailer before and like, what is this from? And it's like, Paul says like it's from the movie. I put it in a trailer. Like, that's really fucking cool. So we see, you see that, and they go back to it, and then it becomes a really nasty fight, and Garen and his guys from the sword, fight Mila and her girls, and it's a bloody, bloody fucking fight. And then I'm not going to tell you the end because the ending's really fucking cool, but it involves hearts and stabs and baseball bats and crushing people's skull. It's so cool, and you got a nice enjoyment out of it. Plus, there's a nice little hint at the end. I was like, "Oh, that was fucking cool!" Like, oh, really enjoy that. Damn, it was good. So now, of course, I'll let you know of what I thought of the film. Well, I gotta say, it was a pretty great film. Not the best, but it was still a good film. Amazing cinematography by Dan Zappa. The original music by Vestron Vulture. Perfect. Just, it made you feel like you're watching revenge films such as Savage Streets or the Angel series, Avenging Angel and Angel. Some incredible work done. Great acting by Dawana McKinney, and I gotta say, Anthony Tamata. Really good work. I liked him. It was, plus he got to kiss, Dawana. I was like, yeah, oh my god, that was a nice cherry on top. I hated Daniel James Moody. I don't know what is about him. He comes off at times as over the top. Because I remember watching Nighttime Creatures, and he was a bit goofy over the top, and in this one he was like Gary Oldman in The Professional, everyone! So, I'm not sure if I can really enjoy his work, but if he was bound to play a pure asshole, he got the job done. You will definitely get an interesting experience out of it. One problem I have, it was too long. There was too much filler in it. You didn't need to know about Garrett's history, and you really didn't need to know about Mila's history. It was too much. There's just like, filler is not required. You wanna get to the story and go for it, and that's it. You don't need any more. But aside from that, I had a great time in watching the film. Definitely, you should check it out. I'll give you a link for Amazon to where you can pick it up, because they got a really good price, and there's a lot of great behind-the-scenes feature on this film. I will also give you a link to where you can check out the trailer for it and get yourself a little taste of Streets Avengers. Guys, thank you so much for checking out the video. I really appreciate for you coming checking out the review. Tune in next week, where I will be talking to you about South Mill District, Joe Meredith's little short film that's supposed to be really fucked up. I can't wait to watch that. Yay! Also, when you get a chance, stop on by my Facebook page, and I'll keep you updated on what's happening that week and the week after. You're all fucking amazing. I love you all to death. You guys take care. You stay awesome. And big thanks to Paul Ragsdale for making a great independent film. So until next time, rate, comment, subscribe, and don't drink the Kool-Aid. See ya.